Welcome to Dungeon Talk. This is Theo Goodman, your host. Episode 1. Right now, it's just me alone. In the future, we're going to have different people on from the community, from the Finance Vote community. Check out the disclaimer before this video. Also, at the end, this is not investment advice. We're just talking about crypto. And Ethereum just hit an all-time high. Right now, it's at 1408 over at Bitstamp. And yeah, I want to figure out what I want to vote on next week in the Finance Vote app. Just talk about how it works real quick. And yeah, here we go. So here are the candles for Ethereum. What do you guys think? It's going to continue? I see some declining volume overall. Like look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Especially the last 8 days after that dump, volume is not as high as the first run up. So to me, that looks kind of weak, but it's going up. So let's see what happens. That's my quick tea leaf TA opinion. Just if I were to look at this chart real quick, this is the daily chart. Each candle represents a day. If you have an opinion about fundamentals, if you have an opinion about price, let me know in the description. Let me know in the finance.vote chat. I'm not using any indicators or anything on this chart, just volume bars and candlestick. And to me, it looks, the thing that alerts me most is that volume is not as high as the first run up, in just a real simple way to put it. Who knows? Maybe it could have some follow through later today. The daily candle has not closed. The candle itself looks pretty bullish. Little wick at the top, but yeah, it needs to have some more follow through volume, in my opinion, if I were to look at this really from a TA perspective. Enough of TA, enough of all that. What are we here for? We're here for, actually, I wanted to show you the Finance Vote app. And it's pretty cool. It combines prediction markets with quadratic voting and pooled betting, which instead of betting, we're going to say voting, which you could argue, hey, inauguration day is tomorrow, right? Did you bet on Trump or did you bet on Biden? If you're American, maybe you didn't bet on any of them. Who knows? But in any case, if you want to find the app, you just come to the site, finance.vote, and you click go to the app. Or if you're cool, you already got the ETH link, finance.vote.eth. And you can get to the app like that. And here I am. I've already scrolled down to the last votes, but this is what it looks like when you come here. And you're going to need to mint an identity to vote, which is an NFT. We'll get to that later. After you've minted your NFT identity, and you need to start voting. But let's just go through active ballot and the past ballots. And I think you're gonna be able to see what's going on a little bit. So what happened is, let's see, ballot 10 closed on the 4th. So you could vote or bet on ballot 10 for a week's time. That betting pool for ballot 10 or voting pool was open for 1 week, and it closed at midnight on the 4th UTC time. At that time, community voted mostly for DAI. That market is going to tank. And the market winner for that week was REN. They had to finish voting on the 4th, and then that ballot is active for a whole week, and then it's settled on the 18th. So you can't vote at the last second and then, oh, I'm right. You have to project. So it's kind of like in sports betting, it would be a futures bet. Like if I want to bet on the Super Bowl a week before the Super Bowl or a season before the Super Bowl. In this case, it's every week. That's what it would be like. As far as trading, it would be like a futures contract that you can buy a week ahead of time, but is not tradable a week before it settles. The big difference is that it's a betting pool. It's a pari-mutuel betting pool. That means that Payout is 100,000 FVT token, and that's divided among the winners only. So in this case, Ren was the winner. So we'll go down. Let's see. Let's find how many votes were Ren. So the people that voted Ren are going to really cash out because they were the lowest, actually. So 69 votes are going to be divided up by 100,000. So that's what, like a little less than 2,000 tokens per vote. I like, just in my head, 1,500 some votes, tokens per vote. That's pretty good. So underdog won, essentially. So people didn't think, it was the underdog as far as the community was concerned. People didn't think Ren was going to be the winner, and it was. I was also surprised. That week, I voted for Dai. I voted for UMA. And I just thought UMA, from a chart perspective, had not really pumped. And I thought it had signs of accumulation and signs of maybe a kind of test pump, compression, all that kind of, shitcoin wizardry, belief stuff, accumulation patterns. I thought I saw that in UMA. And it did go up. It went up 35%, but that's nothing compared to Uniswap. And in this market, 35%, 31% is nothing. You can see the others that went up this week, past week. Chainlink up 50%. So community was not really correct, but they will adjust themselves because they have an incentive to do so. Now, another main difference is once I mint a ballot, I voted, I didn't lose anything. So I voted for Dai and I voted for UMA. Now I could have won some tokens. I didn't have to put up any token into the pool. The tokens are minted from the blockchain. That solves, what's cool is that solves a liquidity problem of prediction markets. Prediction markets, you go to Augur, you go to the centralized prediction market, Fairlay, or wherever. I mean, Fairlay has some decent liquidity, but it's a centralized solution. Augur probably has decent liquidity in the meantime, but in general, it's going to be for anything that is not a big market that a lot of people are excited about. There's not going to be huge liquidity on centralized prediction markets as of now. But this mix in the whole, not automated market maker, but it mixes in the minting of the tokens as a reward. So basically, by voting or bidding on the weekly leader, you're mining vote tokens. Your NFT gains in vote power each week. So we'll show that. That sounded kind of complicated, but I'll go over that real quick. All right, let's look at the active ballot. So you could have voted on this until the 11th. And it's going to finish on the 25th. So it's the one right now. That's why it has this hourglass symbol. So it's the active one. And again, a lot of people voted for DAI, me included. I put all my voting power in DAI, and now Ethereum's at all-time high. But there's still time left for the market to tank. So not everything has been going up. Urine is down a little bit. Bitcoin is sideways. That's kind of interesting, but Ethereum has made an all-time high as I'm recording this video. These DeFi tokens are mostly sideways, some small gains, small for this market at least. And yeah, so that's the active market, and the community voted overwhelmingly for DAI, and then Ren to make a repeat of last week. So they think that Ren had enough momentum to continue. All right, now enough talk about these. All right, let's get back to it. So I came here, I went through the trouble of minting an identity. It's not hard. And I have my identity. Now I would go over here and click start voting. Okay, let's do that. Whoops, wrong screen. Bear with me, everybody. Sorry about that. And here we are. Okay, so here I am with my identity. I'm gonna dox myself. I'm identity 216, and I've voted 2 times, and I lost both times, and I've only got 100 voting power. Here's my voting power. So you can have more than one identity. You just have to buy them. We can get into another video about civil protection. You can read some of the documentations, all that. But basically, it does cost to play. The cost is 100 FET, the gas price. Then once you have that, the only price you're paying into the betting pool or the voting pool is the gas price when you vote, which now is really high. But that's just how it is. So let's see, 100 votes left. So you think I have, it's not distributed just like I can put 100 here. Can't do that. It's the square root. It's weighted by the square root of each vote. I could do one here, like this. But I can put 10 to the square root. So I can put 10 in one. Times 10 is 100, right? So, or I could do 3. I could do 3. I could do this spread experiment and do 3 in each one. I'm going to have a little bit left over. I can put 4 on one of them. Let's see. I think I put 10 by that one by accident. But you can come in here and play around with this and see what it looks like. I encourage you to do so, because it's basically, see, I have a little bit left. I've got 19 vote power left. So I could weight it a little bit more. Die, for example, 5 at die. I could do on 2 of them and have some left. For example, those are just different ways to fill in your vote. Different ways to do it. I mean, you can do 5 and 5, for example. Just pick 2, like I did. I picked Uma and die, and then you have some left over, so you can still fill that out. So I think the best way is for you to just fiddle around with this, see what's up. Now, the question is, if I hit vote right now, I've got to pay the gas fees right now. And I don't really have an advantage for betting right now. So right now it's January 19th. This tournament, this betting pool ends on January 25th. And here's the countdown. So it would be best if I waited to the last second possible, because then I'd have the maximum information, and then I voted with that information. Or then I don't know the cost of that, because the cost is only going to be the gas. So right now I don't know the gas. So this game is maybe intentionally involved the gas price, which is interesting. So you have to think, okay, if I know the gas is low right now, let's say, what if it was really low right now? I'm going to say, well, I'm going to vote now because I have some information about the prices, but my cost of entry is lower, so I'm going to vote now. So right now, the game has a lot to do with balancing what's more valuable. Is it more valuable to wait and gather more price and market information, or is it more valuable to speculate on the price of gas and buy gas low? It's pretty much main parts of the game right now. If I were to win, if I were to be correct, like I showed you on some of these ballots, then my voting power would increase. So right now I have 100. This is my identity. I have 100 power. I have no rewards that would be paid in FET token, and new markets are going to come. So that's why I'm showing you this. It's going to get way more fun and way more complicated. And I would have to claim my power, but I don't have any power to claim. I only have 100 power, but that never goes away. Even if I'm total pleb and get wrecked every week, I still have 100 voting power. So it's kind of like having an internal free bet on this game, on this weekly gainer game. If you're right, I get tokens, and my reputation, my ID increases because the voting power increases. And on top of that, that voting power is in the form that identity is an NFT. And I'm tired of the game, or I think, well, I farmed this game and I've done real good with this ID. Well, I could sell that ID, and then that person that bought it would have that voting power. So it's the voting power itself. The voting power itself is transferable in the sense of the identity, and you earn tokens. There's 2 ways to earn with this game, and it has a low cost to entry. So in my humble opinion right now, there's a lot of things to calculate, but this is a positive expectation speculation game right now. Price of the VT token is relatively low. That's definitely true. So it's going to look like you're not making money. So you're kind of speculating on that a little bit. But if you consider everything considered, it's not a bad game to play, at least with one identity, maybe even more, and farm some identities and just get them active, because there's going to be more things to bet on, and there's going to be more things added. Okay, that's all for the first edition of Dungeon Talk Ethereum all-time high. This is Theo Goodman. Check out finance.vote in Telegram, and I'll be there. You can ask me questions. If you're in the community and you want me to talk about something else, you want me to do more technical analysis, tea leaf reading, you want me to do more fundamental stuff, you have a special fundamental thing you want to talk about, you want to come on the show, you've got some dank memes about quadratic voting and all this stuff, pooled betting, and hit me up, and I'll include it in the next Dungeon Talk. Until then.